For high definition video with the Bugs 3, I've been using this rig. What I've got is a homemade do-it-yourself foam housing with a sunglass lens that's an NC filter in the front, and mounted inside of it is the action camera, which is 1080p 60 frames per second Y1, and that's worked very well. However, I recently remembered that I've also got another 1080p 60 frames per second camera that I hadn't used for a couple of years, and that is a Cadxx Turtle V2. I bought it in a little CineBee, iFlight 75 HD CineBee, and it was fairly disappointing. However, what I've done now, I'll put it into a Bugs 3, so I've got a nice streamlined platform that's, as well as recording in high definition, it's giving me an FPV feed. Now the real question is how good that FPV feed is, and I'll address that with another video. But recently, if you see my other videos, I've been shooting goals with the Bugs 3, and to do that I didn't want to risk an expensive camera and I want to keep it streamlined. So I put this Q-Lemma SQ12 on top, which is a El Cheapo camera, and not bad, but of course the image quality doesn't compare at all with the Caddx. So I've got a flight demonstrating both the high definition and also the FPV feed. The thing to remember, of course, is that the Y1 has a Sony megapixel engine and it's got image stabilization, lens correction, all that sort of thing. So it's not exactly a fair comparison, but I think you'll see that the HD vision is still a heck of a lot better than the little Q-Lemma, which is 1080p with only 30 frames per second. So that's what you're about to see. I've been impressed with the Cadxx Ratel Starlight I've been using in this Bugs 3, and for some reason I suddenly remembered I had a Cadxx Turtle V2 that I bought 2 years ago. It's been gathering dust. The thing came in an iFlight CineBee 75 HD that was a complete pain from day one. For a start, I thought it was ready to fly, but I had to learn Betaflight and set the throttle settings before I could even take off with it. And then the Cadxx Turtle failed, overheated, and then there was a long wait. It was 2 months before I got the parts. Caddx redesigned it. They had a new clip and a new sensor for the camera, and so I put that in, flew it a few times. This CineBee was a little screamer. I never really warmed to it. It was a noisy little thing, and disappointed. Eventually I just put it in the cupboard and forgot about it. And then after the success of the Ratel, I thought I must have another look at it. So that's what this flight is about. So I started off with just out of the box, and then applied some lens correction. And bearing in mind that unlike my Y1 Lite, there's no image stabilization with this, I'm quite impressed, at least in the edit phase. I'm quite impressed looking at what's come out of it. And of course the FPV view is also from the Caddx. It's a split system, which has got a fairly bad reputation. Most vendors seem to screw it up. But I thought I'd give it another run, and it's been quite interesting. So the same view, I'm seeing one view, and the other's being recorded to an HD card, in HD 1080p, to a on the onboard DVR, which is tucked away nicely inside the Bugs 3. And at the end you'll see a view of the thing, of the setup. So here's the flight. this box the iFlight came in and the bits and pieces of it. There was too much crammed into a small space and overheated, and it was a bugger to work on. In the Bugs 3 it's a lot more straightforward. The camera's in the nose as usual. I just tuck the board with the DVR just behind some foam. That seems to work well, and then I attached it to a eSheen TX02 200 milliwatt, and not a bad combination.